Hey guys, today we have this 2013 Scion FRS. And this color is pretty sweet. It's called Hot Lava Orange. Pretty cool name. But this is going to be our walk around video of the car. We're going to go over the outside, do a 360, go over the inside, show you the engine, tell you everything that we know about the car, things that we have done to it. This thing definitely has a cool presence, cool eye appeal, and some cool little upgrades as well. But we'll get started on the exterior. Now, I will say we've done some service to the car. It's even got Brembos. We had done, the big thing on this car that we actually had to do was replace one of the VVT gears. So whenever we were starting it, the car wasn't idling correctly. So we replaced the VVT gear. It's really common on this here because it's got variable valve timing for both intake gears and the exhaust gears. And if you aren't familiar, these run a Subaru boxer engine. So pistons go sideways instead of up and down. Pretty cool engine. Helps it get a really nice center of gravity and a pretty usable power band. Now, the early years of the 86 chassis were known to be a little underpowered, so it's not uncommon to see these boosted, but this one is not. This one's still naturally aspirated. Pretty much stock engine-wise. It's got a TRD catback exhaust and stock suspension. It also has pretty sweet Brembo big brake kit in the front, so it's got great brakes on the car. The rears are still stock. You don't really need to touch them. Most of the braking's done in the front of the car. And then as you can see on the exterior, it's got lip kit in the front. I believe that's a TRD side molding. And then the rear, it's got rear spats. So as you can see, the car does have a weird issue whenever we start it. It sometimes takes a couple times to start. We're coming down to the point where it's something in the tune. The car is tuned. We believe it's on EcuTech. So we think there's a weird startup parameter that isn't adjusted correctly, so it takes a little bit for it to start. And I'll try to get that on video so you know what I'm talking about. The car runs flawless. Everything mechanically is good with it. It's just on a startup, sometimes it struggles. So we've never been able to figure it out. We've tested everything, fuel, spark, all that. Everything's good with it. So like I said, probably something in the tune that's off. That's not something that we deal in, tuning cars, so you might be able to get a tuner to flash the stock map back on and it's good to go. But the AFRs and all that are in spec, so the car is healthy. But anyways, I'm gonna try to show you the front end and try to point out as many flaws as I can. This color, like I said, is pretty sweet. Especially in the sunlight, it looks really great. So, got a little rock chip right here on the hood. You'll see rock chips throughout the front end of the car just because these things do sit pretty low. Weird tiny dent right there. Not sure what that's from. Get a little scuff in the paint. Oh, that actually comes out. Our detailer must have missed that one. Couple rock chips. This one does have the Toyota badge because in Japan they didn't have an FRS, they had the Toyota 86. Then in 2017 Scion went out, and then we actually got the Toyota version now. But it's all built the same way. They're all pretty much assembled by Subaru, same as the BRZ. So you have a scuff here. And these latches are actually quick release, so you can pop the bumper off easier if needed. It's got this weird mesh insert. This thing won't fully sit all the way, so as you can see, it's kind of cocked a little bit. Couldn't really figure that out, so it's not a factory piece. And we got another scuff. Oh, that's not a scuff, that's just coming out again. On top of this fender, you'll see there's a dent and looked like they hit it with some touch-up paint. It's got these carbon fiber door handle covers and they are not aging very well. I'm sure these can pop right off if you desired. Taillights are in good shape. When these cars get old, these things start to fade on the, especially on the top end, but this one isn't really doing that. But there's a chip right here. So I bet you that they had different taillights in at one point. This also has a duckbill style spoiler. Kind of looks cool. These are never perfect, as you can see. This one's got a chip already, but the paint on these are always a little wavy. You don't sand them right. Still makes it look really cool. And the TRD exhaust has like this black chrome finish on it. I like that detail a lot. Another thing we did is actually put brand new tires all the way around. The prior tires were just dry rotted, so they're pretty old. So for safety, put brand new tires on the car. This side looks really good. Not much to point out. Maybe this little blemish. I'll show you the roof. So there's some cool other, I think, factory upgrades really. You have the nice dash that's padded. Before they were just plastic. So I think this covers, or it might pop out and replace it. I think that's off the newer models. And same for the radio. So it's got the newer radio in it, and it has navigation. See, formats look good. Show you the door panels. More carbon covers. These cars do have back seats, but I don't recommend putting anyone back here. This is more for insurance, so they aren't as expensive. It's just like on a Porsche. They're like fake back seats. If you have tall friends, please don't put them in the back. More covers. I'm gonna go on the driver's side. Overall, the interior's in really good shape. This is notorious to start seeing wear over time. It's just from getting in and out of the car. I'll show you this door panel. We'll hop in. There we go. Camera needs to figure its life out. Your radio. This is pretty cool. So if you have someone in the car you don't like, you can actually do the old ejecto cedo on them. It's not actually a button. So I'm gonna try to get that weird startup on camera. What I like doing though is cycling the key a couple times and then starting it. Alright, well that time it started fine. It likes to do it most when it's cold, when it's a cold start. So it's like the car isn't commanding enough air. The throttle body isn't open enough for it. I think that's what the issue is. So you can get Navi if you want to subscribe to it. Which I don't know why you want to. Turn the lights on. AC works really good in this car. So like ice cold. They also have fog lights. Like I said, engine's freshly serviced, get fresh oil. They are kind of noisy engines, so if you ever hear like almost a chirping noise, that's actually your high pressure fuel pump producing lots of fuel pressure. If you didn't know, these cars have two sets of injectors. They have a low side and a high side. So whenever you start the car, it's going to be running on the low side injectors, which is like most cars in the mid 2000s. Then after the car gets up to temp, the high side turns on. You'll actually hear the clicking of the high pressure or the direct injection. It's basically what it is. So pretty interesting how it works. I think I popped the trunk. So it's nothing special. Lights are working. I got the hood open still. I'll try to get a little exhaust rev for you. So we're going to finish the video here. If you want to make sure this FRS is still available, go to azautohunters.com. Click on the inventory tab and you should be able to find it. And then if it's not, then it's sold. And if you guys have an Instagram, be sure to follow us at azautohunters. This is where we post all the really cool cars. We're going to finish the video here, and that is a wrap.